or another man and woman or another man or woman may consider to be unusual or overly aggressive.
Objection, form.
True?
Depends on your point of view.
That's what I mean. Everyone has a different point of view about sex and what may be considered typical sexual activity for someone. Someone else may consider that's a bit adventurous.
True?
Yes.
All right. And I'm not trying to make you a sex expert here, so you don't. Also, I assume that when you've been in CVS or Walgreens, and for that matter, Publix or even Winn-Dixie, I assume that you've, I don't want to assume anything. You ever been in an aisle where you've seen condoms being sold?
Yes.
Okay, and where lubricants are being sold?
Yes.
All right. And as well, massage oils and other types of oils. They're
Yes.
sold in those kinds of stores.
Yes.
All right. And they're available so that someone walking through Walgreens or Publix or CVS could actually take it off the shelf, put it in their cart, go up and pay for it, and take it home.
Yes.
All right. In the photographs that you talked about, and if I understood you correctly, at least during the time that you were there, Mr. Rodriguez, in 04 and 05, there were, you said that there were, I think you said downstairs, and I'm talking about really from the kitchen area up the back stairway, or what would be the kitchen stairway to the upper floor. There was, I think you said, but correct me if I'm wrong, please, that you don't recall seeing there being any pictures or photographs of any nude women. Is that correct?
There were not nude women in the staircase.
That's all I'm talking about right now. In that area, you never saw any pictures or photographs, paintings, any type of depiction of a nude woman.
No.
On that staircase going upstairs, correct?
Correct.
Right. And I think you said downstairs you saw a picture of, the only picture that you saw of I'd say of a younger child that displayed some form of, I don't want to say nudity because it's probably not that, but of some portion of their body that was exposed, and I think you described it as her cheek. And by that you mean
upstairs.
That's upstairs.
Upstairs.
And that was a picture where someone, it looked like, was pulling on their swimsuit.
Yes.
Did you ever remember seeing the old copper tone?
Yes.
Let me ask I know you know what this is. Have you ever seen the old copper tone commercials and the billboards that actually used to be plastered all over, certainly Florida and other places where there's a cute little girl appears to be 2, 3, 4 years old, and someone's pulling down at least a portion of her swimsuit, so she's exposing, or a small portion of her cheek is exposed.
Yes.
Okay. Is that what the picture of the young girl looked like that Mr. Epstein's got?
More or less, yes.
All right. And downstairs in the kitchen, were there any pictures of women in any stage of undress?
No.
And then I think you said as you walk upstairs, or as you walked up the stairway from the kitchen at the top of the landing, and I think you described it at as a foyer?
Yes.
Okay, but it's really the landing, the upstairs landing?
That's
I think you said that there was a 3x5 picture or pictures
Yes.
of women in some stage of undress?
Yes.
Okay. How many, and when you say 3x5, I assume you meant 3 feet?
3 feet.
By 5 feet. So they're
Yes.
large. Were they photographs?
Yes, they were photographs.
And I think you also told us that you didn't recognize who those people were. Is that correct?
I knew this particular girl because...
Okay. And is that the picture you're talking about?
This is the picture I'm talking about.
Okay. And that was a 3x5?
Yes.
All right. Was there, and the only thing that you could see was a portion that is of her, I mean, other than, say, her waist or her shoulders or her arms or something, that's one where you could see kind of like the copper tone commercial, the picture of her
yes,
cheek?
Yes, her part of her buttocks.
Okay. And was there another picture at the top of the foyer, large one, or is that the only one that you can recall?
And there were two of the same girl in the different poses.
But this showed the same thing?
Yes.
Okay. As you walked through into, then if I understood it correctly, you go to pretty much to the end of the hallway, and then you go through another small vestibule, double doors,
yes,
2 sets of double doors, and as you go straight ahead, then you make a left around the bed, and then you end up in the bathroom.
Yes.
Right. In the bathroom or in that location, were there any pictures of any women in any stage of undress?
Yes.
All right. And were any of those pictures, did they involve, or were they of any of the girls that have been described as women who came over to give purportedly to give Mr. Epstein a massage?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember who any of the names of any of those people were?
No, sir.
Okay. And the pictures you saw, where were they located?
Inside his closet,
Right.
the walk-in closet.
Okay. And those pictures, and was it, I think you called it a mosaic?
Yes.
Right. And of the mosaic, approximately how many pictures were in the mosaic?
16 or 20.
Okay, and of those pictures, how many did you recognize?
By 3 or 4.
And were they, as to who those people were, you don't know, you just recognized 3 or 4 of them?
Mr. Epstein when he was younger, and then different girlfriends, but I didn't recognize except the ones.
Okay, and you said 3 or 4 of those were pictures of the girls who came over to give the
sir.
massage?
Yes.
Okay, but as to who those girls were, you don't know, as you
No,
sit here
sir.
today. All right, and as to what their ages were, you don't know.
No, sir.
That's correct.
That's correct.
And as to what they depicted in the photographs of the girls, were they in different stages of undress?
Yes.
Was everyone undressed to some degree? That is, they were described as nudes, or at least the questions have asked, were these people nude? Were they actually nude, or were they? Someone may have had their top off. And
There were 2 girls completely naked in a shower.
Okay.
In a sexual act.
And is that the one that you, when Mrs. Zell asked you questions, that's one of the photographs that you were talking about?
No, sir.
Okay, that was a different
one.
Okay. And in the mosaic that you saw, where you saw 2 girls involved in a sexual act, do you know where that photograph was taken?
I think it was taken in one of the rooms in the house because it's an oval bathtub, but I don't know which room, sir.
Okay. Did you recognize both the girls or just one of the girls?
The 2 girls.
All right. And then there were there was 1 or 2 other photographs of girls that you recognized?
Yes.
Okay. And were they fully unclothed, or did they have some degree of clothes on?
They were naked.
Right. And all of the remaining pictures, at least within that mosaic, were of individuals that you did not know?
No, sir.
And that you did not recognize
No.
as having been at the house. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
You were also asked about some. Let me switch for just a minute. You were asked about a vibrator that you saw, and I think you described it as a back massager that was approximately 18 inches long that had a couple of rotating heads on it.
Yes.
Okay. And I think you ultimately came up with the idea is it's something that you had seen at like a Sharper image store.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you ever seen one of those types of devices that is a back massager with the rotating heads also? So, well, let me ask you this. Let me strike that last question. Have you ever been to Brookstone?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever seen a massager like that at Brookstone?
Yes.
All right. Okay, you were asked whether Miss Maxwell kept the names of any of the girls who came to give massages on. Well, let me ask it this way because I don't have a full recollection now. I think you were asked whether Miss Maxwell ever kept the names of any of the girls
Yes.
who came to give massages, and I think your response was yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did she keep them on a pad of paper? Did she keep them in a notebook? Did she keep them in a computer?
We used to have internal books for pilots, masseuses, chefs. So she have a copy of the black book with herself and as well as the computer.
Okay. And Did you ever go on Miss Maxwell's computer to see what she had in it?
Yes.
Okay, and was that something that you were allowed to do?
No.
Okay. You actually went in her office?
Yes.
And was her computer on so that you didn't need to access the password?
It was off.
Okay, and so you just turned it on?
Yes, sir.
And then you were able to access her computer?
Exactly.
All right. And what possessed you to go in and to access her personal computer?
I did to send some documents to the New York office, and it was the only computer working in the house.
Okay. On how many occasions did you use her computer?
Several times.
Was she ever aware that you used her computer?
I don't think so.
Did you ever ask Miss Maxwell for permission to use her computer?
I was the house manager. I believe I was supposed to use everything in the house to accomplish my duties. In that case, sending financial reports or emails.
And so would you have then, did you ever use Mr. Epstein's computers?
No.
Okay. But you used Miss Maxwell's computer?
Yes.
Did you ever use?
Yes.
And looking at Miss Maxwell's, so you went in Miss Maxwell's computer with the concept, with the, at least the idea of sending some documents?
Yes.
Up to New York?
Yes.
All right. And were you going to PDF them?
Yes.
And did she have a fax machine, not a fax machine, a copy machine in her office as well?
Yes.
Right. So you were going to go, and how would you generally do that? Would you do that through a Microsoft program?
To the Citrix.
Through Citrix, all right. And with the Citrix, that is, if you said you saw some names of individuals on her computer, if you were just going to PDF some documents up to New York, why would you have, what would have caused you to have seen any names on her computer?
All the calls that they came to 358 El Brillo, they came through a telephone. They have a transcript somehow with some technique to the computer. So you can pull it and you register the time, who called, who didn't call, and you can pull this at your request. So I used to use that to go back to some calls that they were requesting, especially when the hurricane season happened.
Okay, so if I understand you, is that even the computer you used would have had that same feature?
No. No, it was totally different. Mine was slower and always the time was breaking down. That's why we have the guy from Ohio came and fixed the computers.
Okay, and were there other computers that you used that had that feature? That is, that would...
No, only Mrs. Maxwell and the staff house.
Staff house being yours?
The guest house, yes, my office, yeah.
Okay, so you could go out to your guest house then and look for the same information?
No.
I don't understand, but why don't we take a break, because we're almost out of tape.